opportunity. You don't have anybody in our community, in our society, that is more voiceless and more forgotten than the unborn. And it's all of our voices that stand for them and make sure that we change what happens in the Supreme Court, which you guys march by, but also what happens in this institution. And I would just note that it might not feel this way, but you're making progress in two areas. Number one, we've had one of the most pro-life houses and senates that we've had in, I think, ever. It's been hard to get things done on the life side just because it's hard to get things to the Senate. You need 60 votes over there. You don't just have a majority body. But we're making progress too in how we talk about it. We have a heartbeat bill. So if you have a heartbeat, do you have life? Right? I mean, we're trying to use some simple ideas that resonate with everyday Americans, that babies in the womb are babies, they're alive, they grow. And I think not only do what we do here in the House, but sometimes my party is called science deniers. If you look at the left in regard to babies and technology and what we see with babies in the womb, technology, science doesn't lie. And I think that's why this has really been a youth movement. Because it's pretty obvious what we're fighting for. And then it's a baby when you see 3D and 4D technology. That technology is on our side. That's why I think we're going to fight on life. And so if we're going to change, it's going to be all of us working together, number one. But number two, it's not just today. Somebody's like, it's great, I'm going to get on a, Father Gerard worked for how long, Father Gerard?
Worked for how long?
No, not how long was your ride?
22 hours?
Father Gerard was always eating cookies, so I
That's not right.
22 hours?
About that.
A 22-hour bus ride out from, he's from Hayward, where I was born and raised. But it's not just today, taking the ride out here, doing the march, and then going home. If we're going to be successful in the movement, it's being active for far more days. We see Planned Parenthood protesters, not just one day in the year. We see Planned Parenthood folks out here on a monthly basis. So if you can come back out and make sure your voices are heard, that's important. Reaching out to your congressman, not me because I'm on your side, but you can't do that. But if you're in a different district, we don't have a life member of Congress, or if you're in a state where you don't have a life senator, which you have one in Wisconsin, reach out to them, write them, call them. It actually has an impact. I tell you that from my own experience. You don't just disregard your constituents who call you and write you. And you might not take them all the way that you want, but you might soften them up on the issue. And so being politically engaged is really important. So again, I want to thank you all for being here. I started doing this job, and I'm a good lifer. People usually like me. But what I've found recently is people don't like me as much as they like my wife, who's on Fox. So let me introduce. Oh, hi. He's kind of short. I can't see him sometimes. But we have 8 kids. We've been married for 20 years, and so not only does she have a chance to have a voice in this movement, but also for the most part be an at-home mom. And I'll tell you this before I leave. Before her, she was coming out to do a package for Fox and Friends on Sunday to cover not for Sunday, on the Women's March, which is tomorrow, right? And she was like, I'm going to be in D.C., but I'm going for the pro-life march. And they said, well, okay, well, let's cover the pro-life march too. So if you tune into Fox and Friends tomorrow morning, if you're not on the bus with Father Gerard going home, what, 7:30, 7:20? 7:20, 7, 8, or the 8 o'clock hour. But they have a package where she's out there talking to different lifers, talking to leadership, making sure it's not just our voices here on the Hill, but voices on national television that are being heard about all the people who are out here storming the Hill, fighting for life. And so often the mainstream media tries to ignore you. They don't cover you. And what we're trying to do is go, how do we use the media that we have access to show the support that we have for life and babies and unborn. So with that, I'm going to give you the way better half of the Duffy movement, my wife Rachel Temple.
First, I want to start by thanking you guys for coming out or coming down. It is a long long drive. It's not easy. There's a lot of planning involved. So thank you for coming. I want to thank the priests and the parents and the schools that made it possible for you guys to come, because it's important for young people to see where these decisions are being made and that they have a voice, and you do. And Sean's right, the media has been very complicit in really trying to do a media blackout on all of you. But now, because you have phones, and most people under the age of 30 don't even get their news from, you know, the major networks anymore. They're getting it through social media. You guys are all culture creators. All of you young people, every picture you post, every, you know, Instagram, Snapchat, everything you're doing on this trip is sending the message, which is the truth. This is a young movement. Sean is absolutely right, and you all know it's true. The other side are science deniers. We have 4D ultrasounds. The ultrasound that I had with my first child, who's now 19 and in college, versus the ultrasound I have with my 2-year-old is night and day. They are living in pre-1970s. You guys are the ones who are embracing technology on your phones, but also the beautiful technology of ultrasound that's a window into the womb. You guys know that these are real human beings, and you're here defending people who can't speak for themselves. Tomorrow is the Women's March, and Sean's right, I'm going to be covering that for Fox as well. They are a quote-unquote women's movement. This is a women's movement. Two-thirds of the victims of abortion are women. Half the babies and all of the women. So it's important that we not allow the other side to take these messages of what's pro-woman and what's not. This is a pro-woman movement. This is a movement of compassion. I went around the march today interviewing so many people, and I've interviewed women who've had abortions before. Do you know what was so striking to me is how many young people I interviewed who said, I had a sibling who's no longer here because my mom had an abortion. I interviewed a woman who said the hardest conversation I ever had was when I had to break the news to my kids that when I was younger I had an abortion and I actually killed one of their siblings. And the kind of forgiveness and love and bonding that came from her sharing that with her kids, but those are very painful things. And this is something your generation has never seen. And basically, Sean and I, we were born, a year or two before this was legalized. So this is an incredible.
I know you don't look that old.
And so this is an incredibly important, I think it is the social justice, the human rights issue of our time. And just like slavery divided this country, abortion has divided our country. And until our country reconciles with this, I think we're going to see the division, because you name the political thing that's out there. At the root of it, I promise you, is abortion. At the root of it is abortion. So thank you for making the trek out here. I promise you, it is not in vain. You are being seen, you are being heard. If the mainstream media doesn't cover it, who cares? You've got Instagram, you've got Snapchat, you've got your Twitter. Get all these messages out there. Peer-to-peer advocacy is the most important and the most effective, and you're doing it. This is a young person's movement, and that's why they don't want the cameras on you guys. They don't want to show how young this movement is. So thanks for coming, thanks for supporting Sean.
Can I ask one more question for you guys? Did you guys have fun on this trip? Young people fun? Yeah! So, I normally have a bigger room than this, but Paul Ryan used to be the speaker too, and so now I have a smaller room now that we're in the minority, but all of you young people who are here, they had a good time on this trip. The mission is wonderful, you're fighting for life, and you built relationships and friendships on this trip. So next year when you come, invite 5 of your friends. And say, I don't know how you're going to pay for it, but I know you'll figure it out. And I want you to take, we'll multiply us by 5, and we'll get a way bigger room. Let's make sure this whole movement feels more Wisconsin next year. When you all invite your friends and family members, let's grow this thing, and not just change Washington, but let's change our state as well, and make progress saving babies and promoting life. So, if you guys want to wear a lapel showing your support for life, we have a little baby feet on the way out. pinned into a little bit of plaid. I don't know where that came from. Check that out. We got a lot of coffee, a lot of donuts, a lot of hot chocolate. Eat up with donuts. And with that, I know you guys probably like, get me out of this room. I'm burning up. So I'm going to sort of get, what's that?
Gonna roll over. It's all,
Okay.
yeah.
With that, thank you all. Love you all. Thanks for all your work.